Hi and welcome to this week's Torah. In this week's Sedra, we read about the Egyptians running and pursuing the Jews that have left Egypt. They catch up to the Jewish people as they're standing at the Sea of Reeds, and the Jewish people are very afraid, and they turn to Moshe Rabbeinu and say, Moshe, what are we going to do? And Moshe Rabbeinu splits the sea for them. They cross through the sea, and then when they come to the other side, the Egyptians follow behind them. God takes the water and drowns the Egyptians, and then the Jews are finally set free. And right before the Shira, right before the song that they sing, we read the following verse. Vayaminu b'Hashem u'v'Moshe avdo. After the Jewish people had seen this great miracle, after seeing the great outstretched hand that Hashem had shown them, they believed in Moshe and they believed in God. And it seems very strange to think that the Jewish people went through 10 plagues in Egypt. How could it be that they went through the miracles of the 10 plagues in Egypt and yet they didn't believe yet? And only now, when it comes to taking them out, not only taking them out, but crossing them the river and making the river flood those people, only then, Vayaminu b'Hashem u'Moshe avdo, only then did they believe in Hashem and in Moshe. What was different here? Why didn't they believe before? And I think maybe the answer is the following. Until then, they weren't sure yet that they had been saved. Sure, Moshe Rabbeinu had done some things for them, but Moshe Rabbeinu hadn't really delivered them entirely from that. And they're now standing by the sea, and they turn around and they see the Egyptians, and they think to themselves, we were right. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't able to save us. This was temporary. This was going to be a few miracles, but at the end of the day, we're going to get killed, or we're going to end up back in Egypt. And they were very afraid. And suddenly they make it through the sea. The Egyptians come in and they drown, and they realize that this entire ruse, this entire thing was specifically made that the Egyptians should run after them. The Egyptians should go into the sea and the Egyptians should be drowned. God had orchestrated it that way. This wasn't something that went wrong. This went exactly the way it's supposed to go. And then they realized, wait, Moshe Rabbeinu was right all along. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who saved us. Now we know that Moshe Rabbeinu is true. Now we know that Hashem is true and keeps His word. Only now, when we're fully saved, when we're fully free, do we realize that we can believe in Moshe and we can believe in Hashem. But I think what we can learn from over here is that sometimes people see miracles, and even then, they don't see Hashem. Sometimes they see miraculous salvation, and even then, they don't see Hashem. Belief in God is not something that's inherent. People say, well, either you believe or you don't. You have to study it. It has to be something that you look into. It has to be something that becomes part of you, that you study and you make part of the person that you are. Otherwise, you won't feel it in the same way. Otherwise, you won't see it in the same way. You might see many miracles. You might see many tremendous things, but you still won't believe. Start searching. Belief is not only about, I believe it or I don't believe it. I feel it or I don't feel it. If you start searching and searching the right places, you'll soon see that you'll find the right things. Wishing you all a very good Shabbos.